Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with match number 1 with the Disciple of Drums deck. The Inspired, I don't know what, Inspired Toolbox, I don't care what you call this deck. It could be a million different names because there's a million different interactions in here. This has definitely what we need here. It's got the Disciple of Deceit plus the Daring Thief and 4 lands. I'm not going to mulligan this. Seems like a pretty good card. I mean, we'll tutor up whatever 2-drop we have. We'll definitely chuck it to tutor up a most likely, at this point, we'll tutor up a young pyromancer, I would say. So the Temple of Deceit can come out, first off, and we will... Sigiled Starfish is good, yep, because it's a 2-drop that we can actually either play, but I'm most likely going to ditch it. And going up a Sacred Foundry, so we'll go ahead and just put out this Disciple of Deceit and pass it back to him. Hopefully he doesn't get Lightning Strike. That'll be very sad, and I will definitely shed a tear if my Disciple of Deceit gets taken out. But from here, again, yeah, it's going to be Hidden Strings on the Disciple of Deceit to untap. Now he can just activate that. Well, that's annoying. We'll tap down the Mutavault, of course. So I could be going up a burn deck. See, now the Springleaf Drum is interesting because I can just go Springleaf Drum and actually get what I need. So I think I'm going to shock myself here, and we will Springleaf Drum. I hope this isn't burn. I'm so sick against playing burn. Burn seems to be like, lately, like 80% of the decks I've been facing. We'll Springleaf Drum here and see if he does anything against it. And no, he doesn't. So we can tap. Interesting. So, because again, I don't want this to get burned out. Kind of just want to progress the board and go Daring Thief here. Because I'm 100% positive this is burn we're going up against. Which Lightning Strikes are just so rampant. So I guess I could have templed there. I'm going to go for a Daring Thief. And then if he, Lightning Strikes it down, whatevs. That's, again, there's not much relevant targets to take with burn. So again, this deck is very complicated. I'm sure the longer I play it, the better. He's going to Magma Jet me. Okay, so didn't have to worry about that Lightning Strike. It is going to be burn, which is annoying as annoying gets. The Bubbling Cauldron will be our friend. Unfortunately, we don't have many other ways to gain life. I guess we could have put like a Freaka's Cure in the sideboard, but that's only 2 life. I mean, you really need a lot of life to stabilize versus burn. And Magma Jet's going to be able to set him up quite nicely. Puts it on the bottom and bottom, so he didn't like the lands on top. I mean, in this deck, you cipher everything, or you cycle everything except, or scry away, excuse me, everything but, I mean, scry away lands and take anything else because everything else is very relevant in the deck. So again, the best thing you put out is a Phoenix, and I'll take it. Oh yeah, we're stealing that. So I'm going to be able to steal a young Pyromancer for a Phoenix, but I still don't know if I'm going to be able to. So okay, yes, we'd like to do this. So we'll discard the Starfish. Now, again, what could I get here that would really... I mean, we could go get a Cure's Follower, but at this point, yeah, it's definitely going to be the Young Pyromancer, which we can now put out. We can tap it. Or we can tap, well, we'll be attacking with the Disciple of Deceit. So, yeah, we'll tap the Young Pyromancer. So we can Hidden Strings to untap 2 of our lands. We'll untap the 2 most relevant. Actually, we probably want the Springleaf Drum to untap. No. We don't want the Springleaf Drum. So see, we can undo that. So yeah, tap. Again, I apologize for this. This is very... So Hidden Strings needs to untap lands. So it needs to untap the Blood Crypt. And this way we get a 1/1. Yes, we'd like to untap the Blood Crypt. Yes, we'd like to untap the... And yes, we'd like to Cipher. We will Cipher on the Daring Thief here. And this way, I guess I can cast... We'll Temple here as well. And, ooh, Mage in the Fates. Age of the Fates with Hidden Strings locks him out. And I think that's fine to put on top. But we definitely don't want to draw that with the Painseer. I mean, we'll probably end up getting rid of the Painseer to begin with. To grab something else that's relevant. Well, if I discard it, it just shuffles the library. So we'll just cast a Painseer because it's aggressive and he's going to have to deal with that. And this allows us to do 3 damage to him. Cast a copy of Hidden Strings, which will then untap the Daring Thief. And at this point, I don't really care what I untap, right? We'll just untap a Young Pyromancer. Disciple Deceit's fine. And see if they've... So, my triggered abilities... This is ridiculous. Again, it's not going to work. Let's see if we stack. Okay, cool. So we're going to trade this for this. They have fixed it. So we switched the Phoenix for an elemental token. Yeah, sweet. Okay. All right. So that seems good. We're in good shape now. We flooded the board. We're down to a 14 though, which is very scary against Burn. As all it tries to do is take your total down from 20 life to 0. How boring of a deck. It's pretty funny. When I first started Magic Burn, I was very, very interested in Burn. It just was so straightforward, and now as I become a more experienced Magic player, like Burn is the most boring deck. I mean, it's the same game over and over, and it's almost I'm becoming less despising Control than I am despising like Burn or Blitz decks. So, I mean, some Blitz decks are fun though because you still have to really interact with your opponent, but sometimes these Burn decks are just really annoying to play against. So, anyway, doing good though because he's going to stare down a lot of damage next turn. I don't know if he's got... I mean, this is kind of a nightmare for him because there's so many different targets that he probably wants to target here. The thing about giving him an elemental token... Yeah, he's going to use the elemental token to block. And I've got the Agent of the Fates, which I will cast right now. Or do I... Do you know what? I think I might actually use the Agent of the Fates. We'll wait a turn. Well, because it's 3 damage, though. And it kills... If I can target somehow, we can actually kill. Because he's going to block the Daring Thief. And I do at this point believe that I just swing in, because if he wants to activate the Mutavault. So Painseer, I doubt he blocks the Painseer. Daring Thief, Disciple, Young Pyromancer, Elemental, Chanter's Phoenix. Yeah, we just start blitzing here. And I believe he does make the trade with the Elemental token on the Young Pyromancer. But at this point, I do believe that it is worth it. As it's definitely a race, so we just got to go for it. So he's going to activate the Mutavault, block the elemental token on the young Pyromancer. War Leader's Helixes are probably going to be the best cards he can draw into. But does he use them defensively or offensively at this point? So I could have, looking at the deck here, I could have discarded the Agent of the Fates to go grab a 3-drop, which could have been a Far and Away, which doesn't do much. You know, I might actually need to Devour Flesh in this to actually gain some life. But as far as 3, the Siren of Silent Songs would be good. Mortal Servitude would be terrible. But Triton Fortune Hunter might have been okay to go get instead. But I'm thinking that a 3-2 Death Toucher would be, you know, the best way to go. And wow, he just decides to block the Daring Thief. And that allows me quite a bit of damage here. Searing Bloods the Phoenix so he can get it back. That's smart. And then he is down to 11 as well. And the Paints are going to actually hurt us. So, yeah. That's fine, though. He's going to Lightning Strike me. Does he have enough damage to get the job done here? Like a Boros Charm and a land and a Boros Charm? So definitely priority number 1, though, next game is to get out the... I'll probably put Negate in. I will probably put... Is it Charm? Is it Charm already is in. We'll get rid of some very, very... Like, we can get rid of some cards, though, that are just plain terrible. It doesn't seem... So he puts out a Mountain. So maybe he goes Chandra's Phoenix here, but... Again, Phoenix isn't the greatest. Because I'll be able to switch it again with an Elemental token. If he puts it out. But then I won't be able to untap it. So let's pray for a land off the top with Painseer. Don't draw a 3-drop. So Daring Thief, Painseer, and Daring Thief has no legal target. So reveal the top card. Don't do it. Oh, it's a Painseer. So I could just die here. As the Painseer hits. And if he's got double Lightning Strike, or even like a Whirl's Helix. Yeah, he's just immediately going for a Boros Charm and a Magma Jet. Okay, can I negate it though? What do I have in my... Yes, I can. I can Is It Charm this. So immediately what we need to do... No, I've got no way to untap it, huh? Because this is coming before... Yeah, that was smart. Before I can do anything here. Yep, and there's a Skull Crack. Because, I mean, if I could Is It Charm it, is there any way for me to inspire this guy again? Is there any way to untap it? And unfortunately, the answer is no. So we lose on turn 6. And what we could have done, though, is we could have discarded that Painseer to go get a Negate. And maybe I should have done that for that other Painseer, is just go get a Negate to protect myself. So, again, I'm learning... I'm thinking that, like, Turn and Burn is kind of bad. Far and Away is bad. Bubbling Cauldron is the best card in the world. Ashiok? I don't believe Ashiok is good at all. Golgari Charm's pretty bad, too. Dreadbore, Rakdos' Return. Is Rakdos' Return relevant? But Is It Charm's amazing. Plus, I guess we didn't have Is It Charm in the main board anyway. Simic Charm. Hexproof on our stuff. I think that's pretty decent. We need a 1 of Hexproof. Crypsis at this point, I think, can come out. Age of the Fates seems weak. Triton Fortune Hunter just seems like it's food to his. I don't think I need an Immortal Servitude, too slow. Brain Maggot. Brain Maggot's not bad. It forces him to kill it, use a spell on it. Yeah, Brain Maggot's great. We'll bring in another Brain Maggot. I think Daring Thief is kind of weak versus him. Again, all these like later stuff are pretty weak. We got Hidden String. Cyclonic Rift is very weak against him. Abrupt Decay can take care of his his guys. But Almond Speaker is going to be great. Maybe. Maybe Age of the Fates is just better than a lot of things that we could do. Murder King is okay. Silent or Silent Song is awesome. So Triton Fortune Hunter I think would be great too. So maybe we do want these Age of the Fates. What kind of creatures do we need to kill that he can sack? Like Far and Away. Far we can return our own permanent to our hand, and which might be relevant. But I'm thinking that burns are just better, as it gets rid of the Phoenix, plus I can... And Negate definitely needs to come in, so maybe Ashiok is just better. Like, they just ignore Ashiok, though. I exile 3 cards off the top of his library, and usually don't get anything I can actually put out, so I don't think Ashiok is good in this matchup. I'm thinking that this is the best... that I can come up with. And yes, I like to play first. Unfortunately, a no-land hand is something we cannot keep. This one's fine, I guess. It's better than the alternative. It's probably just going to be too slow to deal with, but we can scry and find what we need. Again, this is probably one of the worst matchups I can think about going against, but again, I didn't expect this deck to be an amazing deck that just warps the format. I was hoping that, you know, we'd get some cool interactions. That last game was pretty close, though. I didn't have any main board counter spells, which is maybe something that I needed to put in. So even if I discarded the Pain Seer, it wouldn't have done anything. So Dimir Charm is okay, but the right line of play here is just to Steam Vents here, and let's get a Starfish online. So I can block an Ash Zealot. And he misses, so we're going to scry before the draw. I think at this point we can put that on the bottom. We need to find something good. And now there's Disciple of Deceit, so that's definitely good. We can just go Hidden Strings here. Or not Hidden Strings, excuse me, Disciple of Deceit. Or we can Dimir Charm and just shut him out. Get rid of lands off the top. No, that's just still... I mean, you can force him to draw another card, but that just puts him back one turn, which I don't think is the most powerful thing ever. So we're just going to Disciple of Deceit here and make him deal with it. And now we've got a pretty good... Because then we just go get, like, negates. And he'd get the Temple of Triumph, and so he gets to scry on the top and see what he puts. He puts it on top of the library, so I might want to Dimir Charm him. I still don't think that Dimir Charm is the right line of play. So again, it's just going to be scry 1 right now. Turn and burn, we can put it on the bottom. Or we actually want that. Put it on top. We actually want that. It's something we can ditch for a counterspell. So the right, of course, line of play again is going to be to Hidden Strings. Untap both our lands. Is that the right? Or do we want a Starfish? No, I think it's going to be untap both of these. Yes, we like Disciple on the Disciple. And then we can untap both of these guys. And yes, we'd like to... Do you want to untap Disciple of Deceit? Yes, we would. And yes, we'd like to untap the Starfish. Okay, so at this point, I think Time Merit's actually weaker. Do we want to get a Young Pyromancer here? Or do we want to get a Negate here? I think we still want to get a Young Pyromancer. And this way, he's going to have to deal with the Young Pyromancer. I mean, the 2 damage to a creature, that's really tough. Again, hopefully it just goes for a Chanter's Phoenix here. Because then we can start getting the negates. And kind of lock him out with the negates. And again, we'll starfish and set up our hand. Chain to the rocks. Okay, that's going to hurt big time. On the Disciple of Deceit. So I guess negate was the right thing to grab. Especially then he can kill the young pyromancer. Fire Dancer. Well, we have a thing that can actually kill that. So I'm going to scry here. Springleaf Drum, again, at this point it can just go on the bottom now that we don't have an inspired guy. And again, we can scry again at the draw step. And we actually do want that on top. That's fine. So we'll draw that. But right at the bat, we have to get rid of this Demir Charm. We have to get rid of this, which one's the better way? Counter a sorcery spell? Or I guess we just burn at this point. I think burn would be the better use. So that gets rid of the Fire Dancer and gives us an elemental token. And he's down to a 17. But, I mean, he's just loaded full of answers. But I'm loving this Starfish. Really good card. And we could always get rid of the Chain of the Rocks with a... Nope, we did. We actually got rid of both. So he shocks off the young Pyromancer. That's annoying. And he puts on Eidolon of mana cost 3 or less. Whoops, forgot to scry there. So we're going to have to Demir Charm that, and it's going to get value out of it. Put that on the bottom. Ugh. So do I go for a... nope, we just... Get rid of the Eidolon, and yeah, that's going to do some damage to me. And get in there with the Elemental. So there's the Phoenix. Let's go ahead and scry. Another Pyromancer. Is Pyromancer the card we want? I'm going to put it on bottom. I don't know if that's the right move or not. Again, we need that Bubbling Cauldron. Painseer. And again, I guess I could have scried that away. But we are going to put this out. The Siren of Silent Song. And then, I mean, he's most likely going to kill it. But if we get him discarding cards, that's going to be very, very powerful. Yeah, Phoenix gets in there. We're down to a 12, which is where it gets really scary. And we can get the Murder King back. Forgot about that interaction. And definitely put that on the bottom. We don't need lands at this point. And again, we'll scry now because I want to get a relevant drop. Yep, put that on the bottom as well. Curious Follower, that's gonna be awesome. Can't cast it though. Never mind. So I guess that's the problem with when I get rid of both my Springleaf Drums. So I guess I just go in with the Siren. And here I believe we Painseer. And we can sacrifice our dude to get back. Like, if he tries to do 3 damage to any one of these, we can actually protect it now with the Time Merit. So we're not going to be taking extra damage from the shock do 3 damage to player. So Magma Jet me to set up his hand. Bottom and top. So he likes his top card. All right. I mean, I'm dead to Boros Charm land drop. Mutavault. That's what he wanted on top, was a Mutavault. Spark Trooper. Yikes. That hurts big time. Spark Trooper is really good. That puts him back in the swing of things. I think I have to use it on... Like, we'll absorb 2 and take 6 and go to 4. Again, I really don't think there's anything I can do to come back from this unless I get a Bubbling Cauldron. Again, I'm not going to sacrifice anything. This makes him... We're going to scry here and see if we can get something that can deal with... On top, that actually saves us, but like he has so much stuff that can... Well, it allows us to get in for 1. Kill his Phoenix. I'll put that on top. I think it's a good enough draw, but again, we're so dead to so much stuff. And he had another land. That's interesting, because I thought he played a land. Alright, so we're just going to attack in for both of these. And that's risky. So I wish I wasn't scrying, because he's just going to activate the Mutavault and attack with Mutavault. And there's so many things he could have in his hand here. Getting rid of that Disciple Deceit, of course, was so huge. So this Boros Charms me, and that actually does it. So, yeah, see what we would have drawn into if it wasn't... If we would have scried that, would have been a Disciple Deceit, which would have been too late. But, yeah, again, I can't think of a worse matchup than the Burn. They just... For a deck that you know, wants to put out... I'd have to go a lot more, like, counter spells and stuff like that. So we'll play a few more games here and see how this works. This has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.